We had many mornings in the last 2 weeks of the entire inside of the house being frozen, and it just has been magical. This morning we woke up in our new house in Sweden, and the entire inside of this classroom was completely frozen. And we had many mornings in the last 2 weeks of the entire inside of the house being frozen, and it just has been magical. And even though we had some really cold days, I wouldn't have want to spend my days anywhere else but here. And there were actually neighbors that came over, and they came on the day of me not feeling so well. So now we are going shopping because I don't feel well. Shopping is the only thing that is going to fix it. And they clearly decided that we needed to be rescued because they bombarded us with telephone calls and text messages about that it would be better for us to come over to their place because they have a little holiday home, and they said the door is open, the heating is on, the blankets are clean. The thing is though that I don't want to be anywhere else but here. Now we are making progress on the whole heating system for the house situation. The other day, a massive 500-liter water tank that weighs around 150 kilos and that is going to heat the water for the radiators went up the stairs into the attic. Something that without the help of a neighbor we would have never been able to do at all. my God. And some radiators are actually in here right now, but they aren't connected to anything yet because it just takes time to sort out how we want to do all of these things. And right now we are just heating the two spaces that we are currently kind of living in. And these two spaces are the kitchen and the room that we are currently using as a bedroom right now temporarily. We are actually going to create a really beautiful and very big master bedroom up in the attic. And then there's also going to be an ensuite bathroom and a little seating area in that space too. Right now we are actually sleeping downstairs in a little room that is called the White Room. And this is just a temporary solution because all of the walls in the middle part of the house are going to come out, or at least we are going to try to take all of these walls out. And when we are going to do that, the White Room is going to disappear. So when that time comes, we do need to sort out a new sleeping arrangement because the room up in the attic is not going to be finished anytime soon. But we will see what to do next when the walls are coming down. For now though, the White Room is going to be the bedroom. Rogier has spent a lot of time in the barn because he is welding a couple of very big metal supports that we are going to need to keep the house up, because we are going to need to replace all of the beams underneath the floor and underneath the walls. And we are obviously going to need something to keep the walls up when those beams are going to come out, because they need to be replaced. And welding these supports took a lot longer than we expected. So this meant that I had some time to spend on a couple of very interesting projects over there in the kitchen. Now in the very near future, huge parts of this house are going to be turned into a massive renovation project. And it would be so nice to have one space somewhere that truly feels like a temporary space for us to live in. So this needs to be warm, it needs to feel cozy, and I have just decided to turn the kitchen into a temporary heart of the home. Now this entire project actually started with us moving the gigantic cabinet that we had over here in this classroom. And this is a over 4 meter long piece of furniture into the kitchen, because we are planning to turn it into a kitchen island in the future. And we thought, you know, let's just move it into the kitchen already, just as a temporary workspace, because the kitchen cabinets that we had in the kitchen on that side of the space that the cabinet is in right now were just so nasty and so gross and so pink. We actually found beautiful vintage kitchen cabinets on the marketplace from the 60s that are made out of real wood, and those cabinets are going to replace these laminated cabinets from the 70s. This cabinet, you guys, looks absolutely stunning in there, and it truly feels like it belongs. So let's just dive into the entire, let's change the kitchen into a temporary safe haven for the weary worker. The school that we bought came with a lot of things that were left behind. Like these pots that I found in the attic that were wrapped into newspapers 2 years before I was born. So there is a lot of history here. If I would have to choose a word for the year 2025, it would without a doubt be simplicity. I want to simplify every aspect of my life, and I want to unwrap and focus in on what is truly, truly important. As for this kitchen makeover, letting go of perfectionism and embracing the roughness of the bare walls revealed that there is beauty everywhere. And nothing has to be finished right now because the beauty is already here. And the simplicity of creating a table with an old door that I found upstairs in the attic, now that's happiness to me. And half. Oh, that's over here. Okay. Check, check, double check. Because I do want to start in the middle with one of those. So now I constantly have to ask Rogier, where are the nails? Where is the saw? Where is the hammer? Because I don't have my own tools here. And I terribly miss my own tools, but I need my tools in the Netherlands, so I can't move these things yet. And because of that, it takes me a while to get into the groove, because I need to collect all of the things that I need first. Yep, and it takes a while. So now normally we do buy the building materials that we need in the Netherlands, because the Netherlands is a lot cheaper. But in this case, we decided to buy this over here. And we actually got a 50% discount because the package was opened and a couple of the boards were damaged. So now I'm going to save this board for the end part, because I'm probably going to have to remove a little bit of it. And this is exactly where the damage is. Oh, it's so nice to build something. So this is what you call a board and batten, right? Or at least that's what I think it is called. And when we are going to put the wainscoting back into the spaces, into all of the spaces actually, we are going to make this ourselves, the little detail I mean, because we are going to make it identical to the wainscoting that we already have. As for this cabinet though, we have decided to be a little bit lazy and just to buy a ready-to-go option. Right now it is early in the morning, but it feels like it is late at night because it is so dark and moody outside. And this is because the snow has turned into rain. So it is the perfect day for doing some painting on the inside of the cabinet. And I also want to do a couple of other things that I feel very excited about. And one of those things is actually work on the other side of the kitchen. But this is going to be an entirely different video, or at least I think it is going to be an entirely different video. So I need to do some painting on the inside of the cabinet, and after that I also want to put some nice things inside the cabinet. And this is going to be a little bit of a combination in between some things that we found in the thrift store, some things that I brought over here from the Netherlands, and some things that I found all around the house, because there are a lot of things over here in this house that were left behind from the old days, and some of these things are actually really beautiful. And we also have a pantry over there that was completely full with all kinds of things that we all sorted. How about a golden ball shaped like a flower?
Yeah, I want that.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh. 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 So now the pantry is empty and we are also going to turn this into a little project. Yes, the pantry just needs a tiny little spruce up.
Spruce up?
Spruce it up. We need to spruce it up. So it is going to be a lot of fun to put some of the things back into the pantry too. A couple of the things though will go over here into the cabinet, and then there are also some things that I found in all kinds of other areas of the house, like the attic, that I want to add to this kitchen, because I think that it is really nice to reuse some of the things that were already here. In the next video I'm going to finish and decorate our thrifted cabinet. Are you singing? Yeah. Rogier is currently singing and whistling, and he's very happy. I started to work on the other side of the kitchen with taking the upper kitchen cabinets down, which resulted in a little surprise. So I took down the kitchen cabinet, and then I discovered that there's a hole behind it. There's a hole in the wall. So yeah, the project just got a little bit bigger. Oh no, 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 no. The lower cabinets that were made out of real wood got a little makeover. And I think that this is the perfect project for the first week of the new year. And I also started building a temporary new wall. And this, after it was painted, completely transformed this entire kitchen. There's a neighbor coming over for tea. And I've decided that being social is a priority over cows. Okay? This has been the happiest start of a year that I've ever had.